Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ryan here, and I want to talk about the real estate market during COVID-19, the current situation, the state of lending, and what I think is going to happen. Is the market going to crash? What do I think? Now, all this information is anecdotal information right now and just my opinions. I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, and I really just want to talk about what I'm seeing right now. So let's get into it. So, as you know, I work as a realtor and I'm also a real estate investor. We flip houses and we rent houses out. So, first, I want to talk about, my realtor business and working with clients buying and selling houses. Right now, the market's still really hot and it's really perplexing to me because we've had about 30 million people file for unemployment. Now, when this thing first hit, I had a lot of properties under contract with buyers, and a couple of people got laid off. And so those deals are on hold. They're not closing right now. So, I mean, you would think if there's less buyers out there that the price should go down because the demand has gone down. Um, but, another thing that we are seeing is that a lot of people are not allowing showings. So you'll see listings available, but they're not actually allowing showings. So the supply is less than what we're thinking. So in the current market, I'm thinking that because the supply and the demand went down at the same time, that we're still seeing prices hold steady. I'm still seeing multiple offer situations. I'm seeing a lot of competition for houses. And, it's funny because a lot of people have different perspectives. Some people think that there's going to be a market crash. Some people think that everything will go back to normal next month or in the couple months coming. I'm in the camp that if 30 million people go unemployed, there's got to be some kind of downturn from that. I think it's crazy that the stock market has been going up. We're having like Great Depression numbers as far as unemployment. And I don't know if that's just going to spring back. I think a lot of these companies are probably going to not bring 100% of the workforce back, which is going to be a problem. And I think that will trickle down to the housing market at some point. I could be wrong. And so far I've been wrong. But that's my personal opinion. At the same time, on the investing side, we just bought our two properties at the height of this, and we're getting those properties rehabbed. We're going to rent them out. We're not looking to sell them. I am very concerned about financing that's non-traditional, so non-QM loans. So like hard money lenders or private money or any commercial type of loans. I'm quite concerned because we're doing a BRRRR strategy where you buy the property, you fix it up, and then you do a cash out refi to pay yourself back, and you should end up walking away with some extra money and keeping the property and the rental income. But basically, lending has really dried up on the investor side. When we were doing our hard money loan, the lender actually stopped lending right when the loan was about to close, which caused me the biggest stress of all times because we still had to get those properties closed on or we would lose our deposits, and it was a disaster. And it happened at the last minute. So we had, I applied with like at least 8 different hard money lenders, and 90% of them were not lending. And then the one that we ended up working with reduced their loan to value almost in half. So they were doing like 95% loan to value plus the rehab, and they went down to 65%. So we needed to come up with double the amount of money, and that almost broke our back as far as doing these rehabs because we really don't have that much cash. We're using a lot of financing. So that was tough. And now when the properties get completed, I got to figure out how to be able to do these cash out refinances. And I'm just praying that they're going to be available at the time. So that's the investing. And I talked about my projections for the market. The last thing is going into lending. There's a rumor. I see a lot of comments on YouTube saying, too bad the 203K is suspended. 203K loans are not suspended. What's happening is certain lenders are just not doing them. And I hate this about the mortgage industry, but what happens is if for some reason these loan officers think that if their company isn't doing it, that every company is stopping at the same time. And that's not true. And especially right now, we're seeing the biggest disparity between mortgage lenders. So some are getting very aggressive and they're out there giving out loans and they're not tightening. And a lot of other companies, I think there was an article about JP Morgan Chase where they're not loaning unless you have a 700 credit score. So there's the biggest gap between companies is going on right now. So if you're trying to do something and they tell you can't, as far as certain mortgage products, you got to talk to different people. For example, I had a loan or I had a buyer that I was representing, and the buyer, their mortgage company stopped doing the New Jersey Home Seeker program, which gives you $10,000 down payment assistance. The one company just said we can't do it right now because they're requiring us to buy back the loan if there's an issue. And so they stopped doing it, but there are lenders still doing it. I referred her to a different mortgage lender, and now her deal is still going through. So there was a delay there, and that causes a problem when you're buying a house. But she was able to we're still probably going to close on that property. So don't let people tell you that it's not available or it can't be done, especially the 203K. I've been still working some loans on FHA 203Ks for clients. And I've been it's funny, I consult people through the whole process. And a couple people have lost their funding from their lender that they were using. And I found them another lender who will still do the 203K, and we've been able to close. So it can be done. And really, those are my thoughts about COVID-19 right now. Again, be careful about people's projections. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not sure if I'm right. I just don't understand how so many people could lose their jobs and, they're not getting that $1,200 isn't going to help. It's really not. Oh, also, actually, let me talk about this real quick is the forbearance. Please be careful about forbearance. If you're in a tough situation, you got to do what you got to do, but please understand every mortgage company is doing a different way of forbearance. So common sense, you would think they would tack the payments on at the end. But a couple mortgages that I have, when I looked into the forbearance just to see what it was, you don't have to pay for 3 months. And then on the 4th month, you have to pay them all back. How the hell does that help anybody? So, that's just ridiculous. And if your mortgage company is trying to do that to you, I think you should be careful because how are you going to pay it after the 4th month if you just got back to work? You're still you're not going to be able to catch up. You're not going to be able to pay 3 mortgage payments at the same time. So now you're just in a worse situation. So definitely if you're in a distressed situation and, if you might look into doing a forbearance, make sure you totally understand the terms because some of them it's a scam. They're just offering forbearance for no reason because they're not actually trying to help you. So be careful about that. And that's all I got, guys. If you have questions or situations with COVID-19 and real estate, I would be interested in hearing what's going on with you guys. Did you lose a lender? Did you have to switch mortgage companies? What are they telling you guys out there? And also, what are your future projections? Do you think the market's going to crash? I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's bad out there. So see ya.